he needs to just get off to a smooth start and impose himself on the match.
Decent break, 4-ball down, gets kissed in the corner. 8-ball in a very interesting spot on the table. No matter which grouping you go with here, dealing with where the 8-ball ended up is going to be an interesting proposition. It's frozen to the rail on actually everyone's least favorite spot on the table.
Couldn't finish worse. And that's the challenge here for Jamey. First visit to the table, and he's got some. It's always nice. You get your hand on the table, and your opponent's just scratched, and then you have problems.
Kind of swung the cue ball, let the cue ball get away from him there, and now he's left in a spot where it might be best to just send the cue ball to the foot rail of the table and maybe try to. Ooh, he went after that 9-ball. And look where it ends up, kind of tying up Chris's 1-ball here and actually leaving, I think, no shot.
Yeah, there's not much on here. I mean, Chris has just got to be careful. I mean, he's got control of the table. Just has to find the safety. He's got a couple of options.
It would be nice to find some type of safety where you're developing one of your problems at the same time. Which that looks like he's loosening things up there with the 6 and 5 ball. And puts the 6-ball close to another problem, that being the 1 and 9 there together. Which if Mr. Ingram here didn't open it up, it would have given Chris an opportunity if he ended up on the 6. But that's just next level thinking ahead by Chris.
That's not a bad shot from Jamey at all. For a second I thought he would scratch, but he's keeping the cue ball on the table there. He's left it a really awkward layout now for Chris. He doesn't have an opening ball, and he's just nudged open his 9. So Chris under a little bit of pressure. He's still favourite for the frame, but he's going to have to find a shot.
Plays a combo. Wow.
How about that combination in the side? That's special.
My goodness, and I wonder if this 7-ball is playable in the side there next to the 8, maybe even nudging the 8 at some point.
Yeah, if he can play it off the 8, then that would be the one. He'd probably play this one off the 8,
which would almost certainly open up the pocket for the 7. Yeah, where he puts the cue ball here will really tell you. If he draws into the cluster, it tells you the 7 doesn't go. He comes up short here. Look at this.
For some reason, he decided to switch hands there. We didn't really have any need.
Yeah.
He could comfortably reach that one. So a slightly surprising choice of shot from Chris.
He just gestured that the 7 might be wired off of the 13 towards that side pocket, depending on how he gets a hold of it. Is he looking at a 3-rail kick into the 7-ball, firing the 7 into that side pocket? Misses the whole thing.
Yeah, that should cost him the frame. A very strange choice of shot from Chris Melling. He doesn't play that many left-handed shots. I've only really seen him start to do it in the last few months, and he didn't really need to do it. He could have reached, would have been a stretch, but he could reach. Oh, this is a lovely shot.
Cue ball. Look at the corner pocket, though. An absolute disaster when you're given a gift like that from a guy like Chris Melling, losing the cue ball.
Yeah, it looked like he had played the shot well, but just too much. With cue ball in hand, though, he probably could have found a better spot, really, to give himself more of a natural way onto the 8-ball. Kind of go out there and trying to deliver. And
then sometimes those are the moments that are the most exciting for the viewers at home, is when somebody catches lightning and starts putting the pressure on him. But unfortunately, in one of those moments, Chris found the better end of it. Well, unfortunately for Mr. Ingram. Interesting opening spot here for Chris. Decides to take care of the 2-ball first. And there is a combo here with the 3 and 4 ball to open up the pocket at the top left corner of the table. and should make this rack pretty routine from this point. 5-ball mini question mark, because there's not really a ball anywhere on the table that extremely, like, very naturally leads to the 5-ball, but I'm sure if he plays good speed here, that should do the trick. Look at the confidence in that stroke right there, just punching the cue ball forward.
Yeah, lovely touch there, just getting a bit of English on, getting it absolutely spot on.
Saving the 6-ball here for the cue ball on the 8, because all you got to do if you get straight in here is stop the cue ball and you're straight in on the 8. Taking a little 1-stroke pre-shot routine there, and the same thing on the 8-ball. Well done. It really makes it quite easy to deliver, and that takes a lot of hard work and a lot of like thought and planning into how you address the ball to make it that routine. Pretty open break here, especially considering that the 13 ball is really close to the 4 and 15 on the bottom rail here. Should allow.
He's looking at solids, but I thought he might.
I would think he would take stripes too.
Take the yellow off the 1, and then that work at the top's done, and you've obviously got the obvious ball to break out the bottom.
Right.
He's seen it a different way, so he must have a plan of how he's going to deal with the 4-ball.
Assuming he's going to somehow use the 2-ball to address the 4.
Wonder if he plays the 5 off it.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. It does. The carom is close, but you might catch the point on the way into the pocket.
Yeah. Normally attacks his bad ball early, which tells me he's got a very clean plan of what he wants to do at the back end.
Was moving through the rack really briskly there, and now taking a little bit of attention to this shot. Obviously, where he lands on this 2-ball is very important. Holy stroke-a-reno.
Needs it to pull up. Oh, that's incredible. Look at that, how that is absolutely pinpoint there. He needed to leave the high angle.
That is just ridiculous.
Oh, that's special to absolutely land that pinpoint, putting that much work on the ball.
He whipped the cue ball with that draw shot. That was some good stuff by Chris Melling. Cue ball drifting towards the corner, and leaves a great spread for Chris.
Yeah, it really is another good layout, this.
Yeah, Chris really just solving the problem very early, taking cue ball in hand there to address the 5-ball, and leaving himself a premium angle on that 6-ball to get back to the other 2 that were next to the 10. And that pretty much says it for this rack. Using the 11 there to slow the cue ball down a bit. That's a little subtle intricacy of the game. When you play as good as Chris does, you can use those little extra, call them nudges, on the balls to get just that little bit extra out of the cue ball. And here, about 35 seconds later, Chris is already done with the rack. Cue ball kissed again, kissed twice towards the corner. That is extremely unlucky. Wow. And a great spread of the balls to give Jamey here maybe a chance to get in stroke and get his feet back underneath him. That is, look at this kiss straight into the corner.
Okay, that is tough. That really is tough for Chris, but he's in a comfortable position on the scoreboard, so he just has to sit and be patient. But that's not the best of shots from Jamey. He's still got the gap, so he's okay. He's decided to go stripes, but the 8-ball is the challenge on the stripes, and he's going to be leaving the ball up the table as well, which is not ideal where the 8 is.
Yeah, it's going to be tough from his current position to even access the 15 ball at all. He's rolling forward now, coming up a little bit short of ideal. And if he goes for a bank shot, which I don't think goes, well, obviously it didn't go because he's playing the 14. And he's going to have to swing this ball, I think, to come up with anything to look at on the 8, which instead he just decides to focus on potting the ball and leaves himself wired to the 4 ball.
Not sure if he can even get to it from the bottom rail. I was thinking if he can get to it from the bottom rail, give it a good hit, you might get it tracking.
I think you got to just hit past the 6 ball and spin the cue ball as best you can towards the 8 with a lot of speed and hope it either goes up table in the corner or caroms off another ball, really.
Just make solid contact and you just never know. He's trying to find something, but
I think the one rail approach here, it's very low odds to get anything going for yourself, even in a defensive way. So we see Chris again with ball in hand and an open table. Look at the way he played the pattern, leaving himself these every single shot that he's played, he's had multiple options of ideal balls to shoot at, just playing into the perfect zone of every single shot. Plays the cue ball 2 rails towards the 8. And we're looking at a 5-0 scoreline.
You've got to enjoy the experience of playing someone like Chris and kind of learn from it.
Good contact on the break. Does he make a ball? 2 ball doesn't quite get kissed to the corner. And a decent spread of the balls. 6 ball, I would say, because of where the 6 and 8 are laying, you might be forced to take solids here and have to figure out something to do with the, well, you don't really have to figure out something to do with the 5 if you take care of the 2 ball first. Yeah, and once you get to a good zone on the table here, you can shoot almost anything you like.
Yeah, you can just leave the 6 till last, drop it in. 8's waiting. It's all good for Chris again, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of letting the stroke out there. Just showing how comfortable he feels on the table right now. Lift himself the perfect angle on the 4 ball to just stun the rock, and he's already on the 8.
Okay, that rack took, well, bang on a minute. It's just...
oh, my goodness.
6-0.
Is a testament to what it takes to perform at the highest level. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been ahead 6-0, and sometimes you start taking things for granted, and all of a sudden your opponent sneaks up on you.
Yeah, Chris will be keen to not let that happen, but he's in such a good mood out there, such a good rhythm and stroke, you just don't see it happening. And he has got the opportunity to wrap it up straight away.
Couple of interesting shots here. Obviously the first one already done, opening up the 8 ball. And that other stripe on the rail. The only other thing to pay attention to here would be where that 13 ball is sitting. And I'm not sure if it's playable off the 1 in the side pocket.
It doesn't look like it to me. I mean, the bank's the obvious option unless he feels he can get to the potting angle.
He's just playing perfect cue ball to run into the 8.
That's so clever, just to use the 8, because that 8 gets him on the perfect angle.
Wow.
There wasn't that much room, but...
And it didn't even take him any time to figure that out.
He's got one of the quickest brains in the pool world. It really is incredible how quickly he sees the game. It's part of the reason why he can play so quickly.
No wonder he does so well at this format. That is some tremendous stuff from Chris Melling.
That really is an incredible performance from Chris Melling. That really was. You got a feel for Jamey out there. Didn't really get much of a look in. Chris just put on a show, full exhibition mode. Didn't even take 15 minutes for him to wrap up this one. 7
He just
racks to nil.
Walking away, scratching his head. He knows.
Even Chris Melling enjoyed that one. It's great to see him when he's in that sort of mood.